Today I am going to tell you some facts about an actress from the world of cinema who spent a crucial period of her life during World War II. In this video, you will know 21 facts about Audrey Hepburn, which you did not know before. So, you must watch this video till the end. Number 6. In 1988, Hepburn became a UNICEF Special Ambassador and was named a Goodwill Ambassador the following year. With UNICEF, she traveled to Ethiopia, Turkey, Venezuela, Ecuador, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Mexico, and Sudan. She was particularly interested in helping get resources to those in need, something she herself had benefited from after the war. In fact, according to her son, Luca Dotti, it was her experience in World War II that inspired her activism with UNICEF. My mother always said that there is no greater evil than a war because it affects the children, he told people. Number 7. During World War II, Audrey's town had been taken over by German soldiers. People were not allowed to freely come and go. Food was very scarce. In fact, just to survive, Audrey and her family would grind tulip bulbs to eat and attempt to bake grass into bread. This led to her being extremely malnourished and would lead to complications in her life down the road. Undernourishment, acute anemia, and respiratory problems during the war, which contributed to her lifelong wife-like figure. Number 8. According to an interview by Vanity Fair, Audrey's son Luca Dotti had expressed that his mother didn't know why people thought she was beautiful. Luca says she thought she had a big nose and big feet, and she was too skinny and not enough breasts. She would look in the mirror and say, "I don't understand why people see me as beautiful." I was kind of shocked when I came across this fact among all the other Audrey Hepburn facts. It makes me love her even more. Number 9. Unlike most celebrities, Audrey did not crave the spotlight or being surrounded by groups of fans and entourages. She even labeled herself an introvert. She was once quoted saying, "I have to be alone very often. I'd be quite happy if I spent from Saturday night until Monday morning alone in my apartment. That's how I refuel." Number 10. Audrey was determined that she was going to have kids. Miscarriage after miscarriage, she kept trying. Overstress from work and not having enough fat on her body played a large part in the miscarriages. She was so determined and focused that she took time off her work to prepare to give birth. She eventually had 2 sons, Sean Hepburn Ferrer and Luca Dotti. Number 11. Hepburn met actor-director Mel Ferrer at the British opening of Roman Holiday in 1953. The two went on to star in a production of Ondine on Broadway together and were married in 1954. At the time, she wrote to a friend, Sir Felix Aylmer, "We want to keep it a dark secret in order to have it without the press." The two were married for 14 years, despite reports of infidelities on both sides, though mostly on Ferrer's, and had 1 son, Sean Hepburn Ferrer, together. They divorced in 1968, and she later married Andrea Dotti, with whom she had another son, Luca Dotti. Number 12. Hepburn and her mother lived in Arnhem, the Netherlands, in 1940 when the Nazi occupation started, and she lived there throughout World War II. According to historian Robert Matson's Dutch girl Audrey Hepburn in World War II, Hepburn was 14 when she was recruited by the resistance. Fluent in English from years living in England, she was reportedly asked to bring food to American and British pilots and tell them where to go and who would help them. Number 1. Born Audrey Kathleen Rustin on Malfour, 1929 in Ixelles, Belgium. Audrey adored the pseudonym Etta van Heemstra in 1940 to evade capture. The Germans' and English-sounding name was considered dangerous during the German occupation. Number 2. It's long been rumored that Hepburn had disordered eating, but her family has insisted that her famously slim figure was actually a result of growing up during the war. As a teenager during the Nazi occupation, she almost died. By the end of the war, she was very close to death, her son Dotti told People in 2017. By the end of the war, he said she had jaundice and edema, which her son believes caused lifelong complications. She suffered from anemia the rest of her life, he added. Number 3. 1 year after Marilyn Monroe's sultry birthday serenade to John F. Kennedy in 1962, Hepburn paid a musical tribute to the president at a private party in 1963 on what would be his final birthday. Number 4. 16-year-old Audrey Hepburn was a volunteer nurse during World War II in a Dutch hospital. During the Battle of Arnhem, Hepburn's hospital received many wounded Allied soldiers. One of the wounded soldiers Audrey helped nurse back to health was a young British paratrooper. Little did she know the young man would be a future director named Terence Young, and within 20 years would later direct Hepburn in Wait Until Dark. Number 5. Audrey aspired of becoming a prima ballerina. She trained at the early age of 5 for many years to fulfill this desire. She studied ballet in London under Madame Rambert. Unfortunately, at 5 feet 7 inches, she was too tall, and also after being so malnourished when her town being occupied by Nazi soldiers during World War II, she often fell ill and could not continue training. She is quoted saying, "There is probably nothing in the world as determined as a child with a dream, and I wanted to dance more than I feared the Germans." Number 13. Hepburn originally trained as a dancer and dreamt of becoming a prima ballerina. When she was 15, she moved from the Netherlands to London and studied ballet. According to Helena Cohen, the director of the 2020 documentary Audrey, her malnutrition during the war made dancing professionally impossible. As Cohen told Harper's Bazaar, she didn't have the strength. Number 14. In 1954, the same year she won the Oscar for Roman Holiday, Hepburn accepted a Tony Award for her title role in Undine on Broadway. Hepburn is one of only 16 EGOTs, meaning that she has won all of the 4 major creative awards: an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. Unfortunately, the honor came to Hepburn posthumously, her 1994 Grammy for the children's album Audrey Hepburn's Enchanted Tales, and her 1993 Emmy for Gardens of the World with Audrey Hepburn were both awarded following her passing in early 1993. Number 15. Per Dutch Girl, Hepburn participated in secret stage performances, musicals, and ballads known as Black Evenings because of the blacked-out windows that concealed the goings-on from German soldiers, which were used to raise money for the resistance. "I danced at recitals, designing the dances myself. I had a friend who played the piano, and my mother made the costumes," Hepburn said of those covert performances, according to Matson. Number 16. The Nazis overtook Audrey's town and thousands had died as a result, including some of Audrey's relatives. Whoever was suspected of being a part of the resistance, they were rounded up and killed. Most people starved to death because they could not freely move about. In one instance, she was suspected and rounded up by truck. She barely escaped when the Nazis pulled over to the side of the road. Number 17. In 2006, Christie's auctioned off the iconic Givenchy-designed little black dress that Hepburn wore in Breakfast at Tiffany's for a whopping $923,187. Pre-auction numbers estimated that it would go for between $98,800 and $138,320. It was a record-setting amount at the time, until Marilyn Monroe's white subway dress from the 7-year age sold for $5.6 million in 2006. Number 18. The Spirit of Audrey sculpture by John Kennedy was unveiled in 2002 at the James P. Grant Plaza in New York. The sculpture, which is reportedly 7 feet tall, features a female silhouette holding a child and is meant to reflect Hepburn's tireless work as a UNICEF Goodwill ambassador. I think that Audrey Hepburn was the best example of what to do with herself, Harry Belafonte, a fellow UNICEF ambassador, said at the ceremony, adding, "I loved her dearly, and I am very glad to be here to celebrate." Number 19. Audrey was known as an animal lover. She had a pet named Mr. Famous, but her most unusual pet was a fawn, which she named Pippin. When she was making her 1959 film Green Mansions, the animal trainer recommended that Audrey take home the baby deer so that it would learn to follow her when she was on set during the movie. Audrey fell in love with the deer so much that she decided to keep him. Number 20. She loved to garden in her spare time. She's famously quoted saying to grow a garden is to believe in tomorrow. She loved gardens so much that in her last year, she gladly agreed to host the PBS television series Gardens of the World. Number 21. In 1992, President George Bush honored Hepburn's career as an actor and activist with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the U.S.'s highest civilian honor. During the ceremony, President Bush declared that Hepburn's work with the International Children's Emergency Fund put her in our hearts. Unfortunately, the actor was unable to attend due to health reasons. She died the following year. Number 22. In the below shot for the movie Two for the Road with Albert Finney, Audrey had to be thrown into the pool. Audrey was extremely scared of drowning, so outside of the shot, part of the film crew was in the pool ready to grab Audrey for her comfort if something were to happen. This was the only way she would do the scene. When you watch the scene, the fear that you see on her face is 100% genuine. Friends, what are your thoughts about this actress? Do tell us this in the comment box below, and if you like the video, then do give it a like. Also, do share it to reach more people. So in this video, that's all. See you in the next video.